Hello everyone. In this video, we will try to understand one method of calculating GDP, that is known as the value added method. There is two other method. One is the income method and second one is known as the expenditure method. First, understand the concept behind the value added method. Then we will try to understand how to calculate GDP through the value added method. In our two sector economic model, we had seen firms are producing goods and services and households are consuming, and we had also seen that here one's income is second one's the expenditure. For example, firms are giving factors of factor cost to the household. So factor cost would be the firm's expenditure factor cost, and this factor cost would become the household's income for the providing the factor services, factors of production. Like in earlier lecture we had seen, factor cost is similar like wages, salaries and other things. Capital what they are giving firm to household will be the expenditure of the firm, and that the same thing would be the income for the household. So in order to calculate the income, we can go through the either by the calculating the expenditure of one sector or by the calculating the income of other sector. So here in the value added method, what we do is that we find out the gross value of all final goods and services produced by the firm. So in order to do that exercise, what we did is that we just divide economic sector into the three major sectors, as we had seen in the last lecture: primary sector, secondary sector and the tertiary sector. So whatever primary sector is producing, whatever secondary sector is producing, whatever tertiary sector is producing, what we need to do in this method is that we just find out the total sum value of the gross value, gross productions of the each of the sector in order to calculate the GDP through the value added method. For example, if we say the for the primary sector, total gross production is represented by the GVA1, and for the secondary sector, total gross production is represented by the GV2. What is the gross value added? What is the gross production? Gross production is the final value of all gross value of gross output of final goods and services minus value of gross of intermediate goods and services. So we just find out the final value of goods and services and subtract the intermediate goods and service. We will get the gross value added 1. So find out the gross value added 1, find out the gross value added second, find out the gross value added third, and then add for both the sector, primary sector, secondary sector and the tertiary sector. We will get the GDP. This is the first method to calculate the GDP. Why we are subtracting the intermediate good? Because we can look, if we are looking at the primary, secondary and tertiary sector, we will get to know that some goods are final good for one sector and that same good become the intermediate good for the secondary sector. For example, if somebody is consuming bread for coming from somebody consuming milk directly coming from the primary sector, and if he is not using this milk for production of anything else like bread and like anything related to the milk production, then that will be the final good and the same milk will become the intermediate good if somebody use this milk for production of something else related to the milk. So that's why we subtract the value of intermediate good when we are calculating the gross production of each sector. So it will not to count the same good for multiple times, we are subtracting the intermediate good. So I hope you are getting how well how we can calculate GDP through the value added method. So thank you for watching.